It was sometime in the eighth over of the run chase that people in the stands at St. George's Park started kissing each other. It wasn't clear exactly how it was initiated, but once one couple had been captured on camera and broadcast onto the big screen, the challenge was on. Soon anyone who saw themselves up on the giant TV was turning to their neighbor and giving them some love. To the untrained eye, that was about as exciting as things got in the T20 World Cup clash between Sri Lanka and Australia on Thursday, February 16. Once the bullish Chamari Athapaththu had been dismissed relatively cheaply, Sri Lanka's innings followed a predictable path towards mediocrity. Australia cruised the chase. Nothing to see here. Or so it might seem. Actually, the thrill was in the detail. Because while this might not be news to anyone who has followed women's cricket over the past decade, Australia are quite good. So outrageously good, in fact, that if you bear witness to the small things in their game, it becomes just as exciting as watching strangers surprise themselves by kissing each other in front of several hundred people in a cricket stadium. Let's start with the more obvious ones, like the catch to get rid of Athapaththu in the fifth over of the match. The Sri Lankan captain suggested before the game that she had a point to prove after her WPL omission, and had already demonstrated the venom in her bat speed with a couple of boundaries through the offside, and a brutal 6-over cow corner off Ashley Gardner, the big earner in the WPL auction. It was clear that hers would be the most important wicket in the match. When she gave herself room and hit Elise Perry back over her head, more runs looked to be on the cards, until Grace Harris ran 20 meters to her right and dived almost full stretch to take the catch, somehow holding on as she hit the ground hard. I'm actually pretty sure it was Talia McGrath's catch, and Grace called her out of it and wanted to take a hang of it, joked player of the match Alyssa Healy. Full credit to her for hanging on to it. I think that's sort of a key moment to get a key batter in that instance. So yeah, she was loving us to help stick out there in the field watching the replay. On a more subtle level, there was the frightening depth displayed in Australia's team by the utilisation of Harris. The off-spinner had not bowled or batted against Bangladesh on Tuesday, deemed surplus to requirements, but came on here and took 2 for 7 in 3 overs. She was one of 7 bowlers that Meg Lanning employed, and each one of them would likely be a straightforward pick in any other bowling lineup in the world. As if such an embarrassment of riches were not enough, Jess Jonassen, the number 2 ranked bowler in T20 internationals, was not one of those 7. It's pretty impressive, reflected Healy. You stand behind the stumps and try and do your best for them because they're creating chances left, right and center. Doing her best for Healy meant affecting 3 stumpings in the innings, 2 of them clean. The third one showed that even at her worst she was still too good. Standing up to fast-medium bowler Megan Shutt, she momentarily fumbled a delivery that had beaten Sagandika Kumari before whipping the bails off at the second grab. Those would have gone straight into the highlights package, but there was another moment when Healy was batting that would have caught a more trained eye. In the second over of the chase, Healy took a half-step down the pitch to Ashadi Ranasinghe and had her back foot out of the crease when Sri Lankan wicketkeeper Anushka Sanjivani took the ball. Given how quickly she removed the bails, Sanjivani felt she must have stumped Healy. The replay showed otherwise, as the Australian demonstrated the sort of athleticism and balance that remains beyond most of her opponents to get her foot back in the crease. This T20 World Cup is yet to light up, partly because of the lack of close encounters. Australia have a lot to answer for here. Sure, it's not their fault that New Zealand and the West Indies have not shown up, undermining some potentially well-balanced matches. But when a team is as complete as Australia's, it snuffs out any hope that a Thursday afternoon encounter with Sri Lanka will throw up a surprise. The fear, which existed before the tournament and is only growing, is that no other encounter might either.